least. But basically, going into this day, I mean, going into the market open, I'm neutral, right? I don't know overall bigger time frame. I'm bearish, right? Because going into this day, I can see that on the 4 hour time frame, we have now swept out this internal buy side level here, and obviously we are due a rebalance lower on the bigger time frame because we've got all of these untapped imbalances generating a lot of low resistance sell side here. And then also on the daily time frame, as you can see, we've got this large untapped daily fair value gap, and we've got this intermediate low, which is a low inside of a fair value gap. So I'm wanting to see lower overall. So I am leaning more bearish than bullish going into the day, and also going into the morning. I could see that currently, like at market open, we were. Let me just go back a little bit because this is obviously hindsight, but at market open, I can see that we are rejecting this 1 hour fair value gap. NQ is doing all the same thing. This is the 1 hour and NQ. NQ is rejecting the 1 hour. And at market open, I'm not touching anything until there's some form of manipulation, right? Because I need manipulation to even begin to maybe take a trade. So at market open, which is this right here on NQ, NQ sells off and we take out previous day's low. ES is nowhere near previous day's low. So bullish SMT gets put in at previous day's low. And we've also got this little internal SMT here at this low here. So ES takes the low, or sorry, NQ takes the low, bullish SMT gets put in. Now, in order for me to take a trade, I'm still not fully sold on a long bias. Like I see Asia high here, I see London high here, I see that we are below midnight open, which is like this right here, and I see all of this low resistance buy side. So I recognize this as a potential draw on liquidity, and we have the bullish SMT, but I'm still not just going to click buy and cross my fingers. I still need to see more price action. So what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for ES to show me that it's bullish because at the moment, like I said, since we're rejecting the bigger time frame 1 hour, and since I want to see lower overall, yes, we have this bullish SMT, but this in the moment, this could just be a delay in correlation as opposed to a crack in correlation. So I'm waiting for more price action. I'm waiting for ES to show me that it's bullish and that we're going here. So what needs to happen is a 5 minute fair value gap or a 15 minute fair value gap needs to get ran through. So I'm looking at the 15 minute. As you can see, there is no imbalance here. This is all balanced price action, but on the 5 minute, we do have this 5 minute bearish fair value gap. So this is what I'm waiting to get displaced through in order to potentially take an entry. So initially, hang on, how do I go back? Initially, market open candle at 8:30 does not displace above this. So at this point in time, this is what the 1 minute looks like. I'm not touching anything here. There's no trade. Market continues forward a little bit, and then we end up getting a 5 minute close above the imbalance, right? So this 5 minute candle here turns this fair value gap to an inverse. We inverse the 5 minute fair value gap. I zoom into the 1 minute, and I'm looking to see what market wants to do here. Now, what my model is, and how I take these entries, is I wait for the highest time frame fair value gap on the manipulation price leg to get ran. So what I mean by that is, as you can see here, we end up opening a very small fair value gap, but it is a 1 minute bearish fair value gap. So this is the imbalance here, and if this gets closed above, then I can now take a long. Now, why can I take a long? SMT at the lows, internal SMT here. I mean, yes, technically, okay, we actually sweep this like to the tick, barely, but and SMT at previous day's low. Now, what is the reaction of that SMT? Market gets bought up. 5 minute fair value gap becomes an inversion fair value gap, and now I'm waiting to see if this inversion wants to hold. I'm not just clicking buy still. I'm still waiting to see the reaction. So, what is the reaction of this fair value gap? 1 minute gets ran. So I take my long here. My stop is at the low, and I'm targeting Asia high, which is this high here. As you can see, London high is also very, very close to Asia high. So I take my long here, like this. Uh, Target is buy side, and then on the 15-second time frame, there was actually a bearish fair value gap here that was kind of trying to hold bearish here. But since we had the 1 minute inverse, I was still expecting to get bought up. But this is I made one mistake today, and this was it right here. So I'm looking at this. I zoom into the 15-second, and I see this big bearish imbalance, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. Let's just see what the market wants to do. We end up selling off on ES, and right here, I get like I'm looking at this basically, and I'm saying, obviously, like this is where my stop was at this low, and I'm saying, okay, obviously I'm gonna get stopped out, so I might as well just save a couple bucks and close early, right? So I closed my trade right here for like $130 loss. I think I'm taking this on like 500 accounts, like 5 express funded. I closed here for like a $600 loss total. But what ends up happening is since like guys, this is why you always have to trade the price. Do not trade based off of the number. Don't trade based off of the money. Don't trade based off of your emotion. The reason I closed this trade here is because I was trying to lose a little bit extra than the amount that I would have lost had my stop been taken. But since I was focused on the money and not the price, I failed to recognize that this was actually a bullish SMT. So I'm not going to zoom in on NQ. It'll take too long. But NQ actually swept this low right here. So NQ had turtle soup. NQ souped the low and then started to get bought up. ES had not souped the low. And ES put in a bullish SMT. So I close right here, but then the market immediately gets bought up. And as soon as we get bought up, I re-enter in this 15-second fair value gap here. So I take my second entry right here, stop once again at the low, and my target is still the same, which is Asia high, right? So I'm still targeting Asia high. I take my second entry here, and then at this point in time, I have this as my break-even point. So if this high gets taken, I move my stop to break even and let the trade do its thing. So still targeting Asia high at this point. Let's go back to the 1-minute chart. Trade ends up coming up. I move my stop to break even at this point here. Stops at break even, and at this point, I'm just letting the market do its thing, right? So we end up having news at 9, which is pretty soon, 4 minutes. So we have news. It gives a little bit of a rebalance, nothing too crazy. Market continues to get bought up, and this is where things get pretty whack. So at this point in time, obviously, I'm looking at this. I'm like, all right, bet, banger trade, very clean setup. I shouldn't have closed here. I didn't want to lose, but SMT ended up getting put in. I re-entered on the 15-second fair value gap. Market gets bought up beautifully. What actually ends up happening here is we sweep London high to the flipping tick, but we do not take out Asia high. So my target is Asia high, right? This is a very clean, very textbook market maker buy model. In order for this model to be complete, ES should take out Asia high, right? This is textbook price action, guys. SMT at previous day's low, market gets bought up. We inverse the 5-minute fair value gap. We rebalance to the 5-minute. I wait for the 5-minute to hold bullish, or the 5-minute inverse to hold bullish. How do I know that the 5-minute inverse holds bullish? Because we get the 1-minute inverse fair value gap. So this is the 1-minute inverse fair value gap. I take my initial entry here. I have basically, I just take a stupid exit here. Like I should not have closed this trade here. I was just trying to cut a little bit of loss here. I should have just left my stop where it was, let the market do its thing, but I ended up re-entering. Market gets bought up. Beautiful trade. But we end up sweeping out London high, and then we open up a 1-minute bullish fair value gap. So at this point in time, like I'm not tweaking out here. I'm not like freaking out. I'm just like, all right, we're just going to rebalance and then get bought up, Nope, market has other plans. I end up getting stopped out at break even.